And so it may be your first day in, 3 minutes and you've had enough.
Right.
That's okay. That's where you're starting. And your goal then becomes, next time I could come in, I'm going to aim for 3.5 or 4 minutes. And over the long haul, the people that are most successful who are coming into the fitness industry or coming into exercise classes and stuff are the ones who are consistent over the long haul, that they start out wherever they are.
Hi, my name is Bill Sardin, and welcome back to Circuit Riders. And today we are going to be talking to Beth Curry about her ministry, Becoming Fit at Church. And I just love this concept of bringing that into our church life. And without any further ado, I want to welcome Beth Curry. How are you doing today, Beth?
Oh, I'm doing just great. I'm so excited to be here and share with you all about the ministry that we have at our church related to exercise.
Yes, I'm excited to hear about it. I serve at a smaller church, and I want to imagine how we might be able to do some of this as well. So I'm looking forward to hearing. I am looking forward to hearing what you have to say. So can you tell us a little bit about what got you to start this ministry?
Sure. We actually moved. My husband was, prior to us coming to Tallahassee, he was a district superintendent. And then he left that and came here, appointed to Tallahassee. And of course, that meant a move for me. And I had a doctor in the church and his wife, who are kind of the grandparents of the community, so to speak, come to me and say, "Oh, we heard you do exercise. Would you start an exercise program at the church?" And so I said, "Absolutely. That sounds like a lot of fun. Let's see how we can set this up and what we can do." And so they helped me get the word out. And the missus stood out in the narthex and got people's names and said, "You're going to come and exercise with me, right? You're going to come and exercise with me, right?" And so in September of 2008, we started our first class with 8 people. And then 2 days later, we had 12 people. And then the next week, we had 16 people. And it just went on and on from there. So that's literally how it started out. So,
Oh, wow. So you've been doing this for 17 years.
Our 18th anniversary, September the 2nd, 2008. Mm-hmm.
That's just absolutely incredible because,
no idea we go there. It's like, whoa.
For your husband to still be appointed there after 17 years is incredible.
He actually retired. So he actually retired after 8 years. But I was invited to continue running the exercise program at the church even after he retired. And now he has since come back on board at the church. He is the pastor of pastoral care. So he's in a different position, and it is our home church. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite type of exercise? I mean, I think everybody's got their favorite.
Oh, goodness. I think I'm a full body exercise kind of person. So I want to make sure that we and I get in the cardiac part of it. And then particularly as we age, or even if we're younger and we're raising children, we need to have strong muscles to be able to lift, squat, move. It affects your activities of daily living. And so we need to keep our bodies strong. And then I think something that's often overlooked is the flexibility portion of it, where people don't take time to stop and stretch. And that has a lot to do with stress for us. I think that we need to take a minute and take a breath, even if it's 5 minutes, 8 minutes, just to take a breath and do some nice stretching. So for me, I don't think there's any favorite one exercise. It's the whole body. You've got to do the whole body. So,
okay. Yeah. We've got, we're a smaller congregation, one I serve, and mostly older.
Okay.
And we recently had a gentleman join who has started a yoga class at our church.
Oh, that's great. That's great. That's great.
And
my oldest participant is 98 years old. She's been in the program for 17 years. So and she attends sometimes more than everybody else. So on Zoom, on top of that, on Zoom.
So we're going to tell everybody right here and right now, age is not an excuse.
Is never an excuse.
Never an excuse. Okay.
And it doesn't matter whether you have come from an exercise background or not an exercise background. You can start where you are and you can go up from there. And that's our philosophy is you draw a line in the sand and this is where I am today and this is where I'm going to go from here. So,
okay. Well, on that same kind of note, what advice would you give to someone that feels intimidated or overwhelmed at the beginning of their fitness journey, especially if they consider themselves extremely out of shape?
Hmm. Hmm. Well, I think the first thing that comes to mind is for everyone, and research shows this, that the hardest part about getting started with any kind of an exercise program is to get to where you're going to exercise. It may be putting your shoes on and saying, I'm going to go for a walk, or it may be getting in the car and driving to, oh, I'm going to try this class or that class, or doing something at home, looking at something on Zoom that you're going to take, or some class that you can take online. So I think that the biggest issue is actually taking that first step. And then once you take that first step, most people are okay with movement with exercise. It's just getting that first step. So you have to take that first step and you have to congratulate yourself. I did it. I did the first step. I got there. Okay. And then in our program, it is all about you. It doesn't have anything to do with the next person over who may have been exercising for 17 years and you're there today. It's your first time and you're nervous and anxious and wondering how it's going to work. We are very non-intimidating. We are all about you. So your first class in is paying attention to your own body. It's how you feel when you're exercising. You're allowed to stop. You're allowed to ask questions. Stop if it doesn't feel right. Say if I hurt my arm and I don't want to do it that way. And all we're doing is wanting you to start moving. Just start moving.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, and that really is the hardest part. I think when you get really sedentary, it does kind of create a depression.
Yeah.
Once you hit that depression, it's hard to move at all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so it may be your first day in, 3 minutes and you've had enough. Right. That's okay. That's where you're starting. And your goal then becomes, next time I could come in, I'm going to aim for 3.5 or 4 minutes. And over the long haul, the people that are most successful who are coming into the fitness industry or coming into exercise classes and stuff are the ones who are consistent over the long haul, that they start out wherever they are, and little by little, they start adding a little bit more, maybe a little bit more weight, maybe one more repetition. And you'll see this slope go up like this of them improving their fitness and their health. And then it carries over to the daily activities that they're doing. And then it becomes, oh, wow, this is making my world an easier place to live in.
Do you find that some people come in and try to do too much at first?
Not in our setting. Out in a public setting, yes. A lot of people will come in and say, okay, I'm going to come in 5 days per week now. I'm going to work out for 30 minutes. And then they get sore and they hurt themselves. And then they think exercise is a bad thing. So we really focus on, for anybody who comes into a class the first time, you're going to just focus on your body. And it doesn't matter whether you're doing the exercise exactly right or not. You're focusing on moving. And when you're tired, you're going to stop. And we're going to want you to come back the next day. We're going to invite you to come 2 days later to come back in again and just do it again. And then maybe next week you might go, oh, well, now I can do a little bit more, or maybe I can do 10 reps instead of 9 reps today. And so that's what it's about for us. So we really encourage people not to overdo it. Just start slow, take your time, pay attention to your body, stop if it hurts. And it's all about you, not about the next person over, only about you. Mm-hmm.
And that's the only person you can control.
Exactly. It's not a competition with anybody except your own body. So,
right.
Yeah. And the other part of it too, I think we all have at this point, especially with an older population, some limitation of some kind, whether it's a hip that we had an issue with, or a shoulder or an arm or an elbow or a foot or something. So we have to work around that, and that's okay. So an injury is not going to prevent us from being able to exercise.
What church are you at in Tallahassee, for those that are in that area?
Trinity United Methodist Church in downtown. We are a downtown church in the state capital.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, great.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
And so if anybody out there is listening that is in the Tallahassee area and you want a church where you can get fit,
Yes.
Trinity United Methodist and Beth Curry are
Come,
waiting for you right
come to
now.
us. Yep. Come to us. Just Google that name and it'll all pop up
Okay, cool.
right there under the Becoming Fit at Church little picture on the screen. So just click on it. And we love having people who don't go to church, people from the community, people from other churches, people from our church. It's not an exclusive to our church
Right.
type of thing. It is open to anyone that wants to come in and exercise.
It's not a members only kind of thing.
Absolutely not. Mm-mm.
Awesome.
No.
Awesome. So, your ministry emphasizes physical health along with a spiritual community. How do you see fitness as a key part of a spiritual journey?
For
Hey, we'll get back to the episode in just a moment, but I wanted to ask you a favor. Would you leave a comment, like, and subscribe? I really want to help more people with their physical and spiritual journeys, and this is the best way to do it. The YouTube algorithm depends on interactions between you and me. So, like, subscribe, leave a comment. All those things help. Now back to the episode.
for me and for the I think the focus with our program is we're all called to serve. Okay, that is we are need to serve. We need to be the hands, the heart, and the feet in the world. And so by becoming more physically fit, it may empower us to become more able to serve in the world. So for me, it's maintaining the body. We have First Corinthians, it's 6, what is 19 through 20. I think that the body is the temple of the Holy Spirit, and we need to maintain our body. So that's our verse that is connected with our program. So we need to maintain our bodies because then we can go out and serve. And there are so many opportunities for serving, and there are so many different physical abilities when we go out to serve. And serving can be something like sitting and writing notes to people. It doesn't have to be out digging trenches somewhere around the world. It's some way of being physically able to do something to make a difference for somebody else. And so
Yeah,
that's how it ties together.
yeah, it can be as simple as walking into a hospital room and saying, "How are you feeling today?"
Absolutely. Absolutely. And maybe you might have to stand for 5 or 10 minutes while you're doing that. So if you can stand longer, great. Then we were successful in what we were trying to do. So and we have people who want to go to places like Guatemala and they want to dig trenches and build houses. And so they need to squat and lunge and lift and all of that. And so if we can help them become stronger in order to be able to go do that kind of thing, that's what it's all about.
Amen.
Mhm.
Amen.
Mhm.
What are some practical steps or habits you'd recommend to someone just starting out with exercise, maybe for the first time in years?
Okay. So first off is starting really slowly.
Okay.
And we had kind of covered that a little bit. Don't
Yeah,
start out
for sure.
thinking you're going to go 5 days a week because then it's not going to feel good. And then
Right.
it's going to be a negative thing. So that's one thing. Then it's it's very common for your muscles to feel sore a little bit when you start working out. So we actually have a little joke. It's called delayed onset muscle soreness, which is actually
Right.
a physiological response. But we laugh in class and say, "Oh, we're going to have DOMS tomorrow because we worked our quads today really hard." And so it's very common to be sore. We don't want to have pain in a joint, but soreness is okay. It means you're working your muscles and they haven't been used in a while. And that's okay. It's going to go away. So that would be another thing. Um, always listen to your body. If it doesn't feel right for you, stop. Okay, stop. In our environment, you ask for a modification. We do also take a medical history so that the instructors have an idea of, oh, maybe this person might have a shoulder issue, so we're going to modify for that person something else. But anyway, never be afraid to stop something that doesn't feel right to your body. Okay. Writing down a goal for what you want to accomplish, a simple, attainable goal for something you want to accomplish is a good way to commit yourself to what you're doing. And it may be something as easy as I'm going to get up and put my shoes on Monday, and I'm going to walk for 5 minutes in my neighborhood. I'm going to do it every Monday for the next 4 Mondays. And when you attain that goal, yay, hurrah, celebrate, and then take it to the next step. I'm going to go Monday and Wednesday. I'm going to go walk for 5 minutes or 6 minutes now for the next 2 or 3 weeks. Or it might be I'm going to attend an exercise class every Tuesday for the next 4 weeks. And it's going to be this class at this time. And I'm going to write it down and I'm going to check it off when I do it. And when I get done with it, yay, hurrah, I'm going to celebrate that I've done it. And so I think writing it down is great. Celebrating your successes is great. Consistency, commit to doing something, commit and do it. Those are the people who make the biggest gains. And I have literally seen people who could not stand up from a chair end up 6 months later doing 100-pound leg presses on machines because they came, they showed up, they started slow, they didn't hurt their bodies, they upped their stuff just a little bit at a time, and they made huge gains over the course of time. Almost everybody can exercise.
Yeah.
So
listening to you, I'm kind of getting the sense that a lot of people that come to your program have not exercised in years, and this is the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And when I've talked to folks that haven't exercised in years, a lot of times I hear some shame or they express shame.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that you're talking about celebrating successes.
Absolutely. Oh yeah. Be so proud, be so happy that you did it, you know? And like I said, you'd start out with putting your tennis shoes on and walking out to the mailbox and doing a lap around the mailbox and come back in and wow, you did more than you did the day before. That's awesome. It's awesome. And if that's where we're starting, that's okay. That's perfectly okay. Yeah.
Well, what are some other things you do to try to reassure those clients that come in that are expressing a lot of shame?
Okay. Like I said, I usually talk to people. I have the opportunity to talk with most of the participants that come into our program before they get started, because we do safety is first for us. So we do a medical history, which is confidential. It only goes to the instructor. So I have the opportunity to talk with most people before they come in and kind of see where they are. You know, some people are embarrassed with what clothing are they going to wear, you know, that type of thing. And we're very non-intimidating. We'll say, come sit in back and watch a class sometime. Don't even take it. Just come and watch what we do. And just see what goes on so that you will not have that stress of, oh, I'm in this and I don't know how to do this exercise, or I'm embarrassed because I'm not doing it right. Or like I said, haven't exercised before, so people are looking at me. Just come in and visit. Just come watch and then take that first step to pick up a piece of equipment and do it with us. We laugh. We laugh and we have so much fun in our program. It's like, you know, a lot of times I'll say, okay, we're going to do this today. And they'll look at me and they'll go, no, we're not doing it. You might be doing it, but we're not doing exercise today. So, you know, or we do resistance bands sometimes and they don't particularly like resistance bands. It's like, seriously, we have to do those today. That's the kind of exercise we have. So, yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I don't like resistance bands either. I would much rather deal with dumbbells.
I know.
There's something about those resistance bands that don't feel natural.
I know. Yeah. They're scary, aren't they?
They're scary. I think they bring back trauma of when I was in grade school and people would snap rubber bands at you.
Right. Yeah.
Trauma from that.
Yeah, we actually do a little bow and arrow kind of thing, you know, pull back and let it go, you know.
oh, the trauma.
Yeah. You know, I think the other thing too, I think, you know, some people have maybe previously had bad experiences with exercise. And so you have to help people get past that also. So like I said, we're just very low key. It's just come on in, laugh with us, have a good time.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate. I had great experiences with exercise before I had my bad experience. And my bad experience was, you remember P90X they used to advertise on TV? Oh, my stepdad ordered that and I borrowed it from him.
Uh,
The next day, I didn't get past the warm up. The next day, I couldn't put on my shirt. I
I
was
know.
so sore.
I know, and that's so bad. It's so
Right.
bad, and that is the last thing we want to have happen to any person, especially a person just coming back in and wanting to get back into the fitness world. We do not want that to happen. So, yeah.
Yes.
Uh,
So our conference, the conference I serve in, which is the Arkansas conference, we are really trying to make an effort
okay.
to help not only our clergy but our laity as well with our physical health.
Mhm.
We've really made a dedication in the last 6 months because we've
Good.
recognized how bad it's needed. Um, what kind of advice would you give to a congregation or even a conference that is trying to start a health initiative?
Okay. Well, here's something. Two things come to mind. Is first finding people who have similar interests in things. Okay. One of the very simple things we did was called Walk to Bethlehem. And this was back, remember when people had pedometers? And now we
Yeah,
all have watches that
right.
track everything. Okay. So we would meet once a week at the local park downtown and we would walk together and we would start our pedometers and write our steps down. Then we got into, okay, well, let's write them down every single day and let's calculate them and let's see if we can come up with enough steps to walk all the way to Bethlehem and all
Oh,
the
how
way back.
neat.
And so we did it 3 years in a row. We walked all the way to Bethlehem and all the way back with people logging their walking. And so it was an easy thing. It was intergenerational. It didn't matter whether you could walk, you know, 50 steps or whether you could get out there and walk 3 miles. Everybody's steps counted and they went toward our effort. And when we got to Bethlehem, we did a little dinner with some presentation on some things from Israel because we had been to Israel. So we had things that we could show. So we did a celebration that we made it. And then we walked back and I had a map, where we would show, well, here's how far we are with, if we're here and here's where, Jerusalem would be. It's so many miles and we've gone this far. So we're in the middle of the Atlantic right now swimming, but, to get there. But it was a visual so people could
Right.
see. It made people go, oh gosh, we're almost to, so let's walk a little bit more today because we were going to get credit for more steps. So that would be a really easy thing to do, would be to start something just simple, just walking. Um,
Before you go on to your next one, can I ask, did y'all use some kind of app to help everybody track that? Or was it just you depended on people to just submit their miles?
this was before we really even had the apps for it. So this was back at 2010, 2011,
Right.
2012. So we just had a hard copy log and people would just jot it down and total it. And because I also have an accounting background, I had an Excel spreadsheet where I just would log their numbers real quick and just total it. And then we draw on the map. Here we are. So we reported once a week. We also used the upper room as a daily devotion.
Okay.
So on one side of our log, we had steps, and on the other side, you would write a word from, if you read the upper room, one word that touched your heart. And then we would share sometimes those words, like when you were reading this week, what stood out the most to you when you read your devotions? Is there one word or one day that really touched your heart? And so we would share that before we started walking sometimes too. So.
Oh, how awesome. And I can see that also working with the church year. You could do the walk to Bethlehem on the way to Advent and
Yes.
then do the walk to Jerusalem on the way to
Yes.
Lent.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you can pick whatever devotional series or whatever you want to use to get people on doing the same reading and being on the same level for having a little bit of discussion about where are we right now. So that was really a lot of fun. So, and then the second part right now, we have pickleball also. They took our preschool playground. We had a basketball court for the youth out there, and they striped it for us. And we bought a temporary net that we can take up and down. And so we started a pickleball group, and it's been very successful. Of course, it's been very hot in the summer. So we reached out to FSU Wesley, the Wesley Foundation at our university, because they don't use their facility during the summer, and it's large enough to have a pickleball court inside. So we play pickleball inside the Wesley Foundation. Yay.
So what you're saying really is look around. What do you have available? You don't have to have a bunch of weight equipment, Nautilus equipment. Look around what's available.
No, you may have runners that would like to get together and run. You know, a group of people, we did that for a while. We had runners that committed to getting out to some of the local races and things that they had. And so they would run. We've had people that like to trail hike. And we have beautiful trails here in Tallahassee. So they would meet and schedule we're going to hike this trail today. Come on out and do that. There are just so many things to do without equipment. But bands are one of the best pieces of equipment to start with because they don't cost a whole lot, and you can do a lot of things with bands. So if you're looking at doing some more structured exercise, bands are a good place to start. Bands and some kind of a ball. Ball about this big. And they're not expensive. Paper plates work well also.
Paper plates. What do you do with paper plates?
Sliding on the floor to do leg sliding things on the floor. They're paper. Place a disc that you would use on the floor.
Okay.
So, oh, this is funny too. You'll laugh at this too. When we first started the program, because we didn't have much money, I took 10 pennies, wrapped it in masking tape, wrapped it in paper towel, wrapped it in masking tape, and wrapped it in masking tape again. They're little balls that are about this big for throwing up in the air to catch and balance and eyes and stuff. They are now 18 years old. They are still part of the exercise. So things can be done.
Yeah. I mean, it's like when COVID hit and all the churches decided to go online. It's like, well, we don't have the budget for it. Guys, do you have a phone in your pocket?
Yes.
It's just getting creative and seeing what you have in front of you.
Yeah. I mean, we took the whole exercise program to Zoom in 10 days. The entire program. We were one of the only ministries of the church that never shut down during the pandemic.
Oh,
and
wow.
We did phone calling with people who were, I don't know how to use Zoom. And we'd go, okay, we'd sit, okay, get to your computer, click this, click that. And then, oh, okay, I got it. And so we are still offering that option, but we still do Zoom in person, but absolutely use technology.
Something I'm hearing from you though, and I'm wondering if it's a conscious decision, there's a lot of community building activities that you do. Was that a conscious decision?
We do it, and we do because we have short little sentence that we say. We're here to have fun, because if it's not fun, you're not going to come. Right. Fellowship. Right. Then we get fit, and we raise funds for community service. Okay. So that's our little sentence we use. But if we're not having fun, you're not going to come back. Okay. We want you to have that small group feeling of fellowship, that you have people who care about you, who will pray for you. They will bring you a meal if you need a meal. So those are really important. And that was very intentional that's what's happening. And then we're going to have some exercise, and then we're going to raise funds. And sometimes we have food. We gather and have dinners together and lunches together and things like that too. So very intentional with that. Yes.
Well, you mentioned y'all raise funds, and my research said y'all have raised over the period around $89,000 for community service. Can you share a story about one of the projects that particularly moved you that y'all raised funds for?
You know, when I was thinking about that, I went, it's too hard to even pick one. The first thing we did was we put in a teacher lounge for a middle school that was in more of a disadvantaged area of our town, and the teachers had no place to take even a 10 or 15-minute break. So we went in and did microwave, refrigerator, all the things that they needed. So that was the very first thing we did. We help feed the unhoused in our community every Monday, every Thursday. We buy them coats and jackets and cooling things in the summer and all of that. We've scholarshiped students who want to go abroad to do mission trips, medical mission trips, and things like that. So it's hard to pick any one thing because we've tried to do local, we've tried to help within the church, and we've tried to go globally as well with what we do. So we support UMCOR, when hurricane relief and fires and all of that kind of stuff. So it's just really hard to pick one thing.
Well, how have you raised those funds? Was it through fees, or have y'all done projects? Or
this is the way it works. Way back when the doctor asked me to start the program, I said, you know what, I don't want to be paid for this. I will come in and just volunteer teach. So that's how it started. I volunteer my time, and the doctor's wife said to me, people will be more committed to coming to this if they have to pay, if they have to do something. So let's tell them we're going to ask for a suggested donation of $3 per class. I said, perfect, great. It's been a suggested donation of $3 per class since we started 18 years ago. I have a lovely team of individuals who through the years have come in and also felt the same passion I have, that they would volunteer their time to teach. So we are a totally volunteer run program from the teaching aspect. And the participants come in and they could put a quarter in if that's all they can afford. They can put $10 in the envelope when they come in to exercise. And just over the years, we don't count it. We don't go, oh, we had 10 people and we should have X dollars. God has just blessed people to come in and bless this program, and it goes out to the community. And so that's the way it's been, and that's always the way it always will be, that it will be volunteer instructor and participants giving what they're able to give. And it's now at like $95,000. So, yeah.
Oh, wow. I just absolutely love that. Just to kind of pick your brain a little bit more, because I'm going to steal ideas. I hope there are people out listening to this that will steal ideas.
Yeah.
Do y'all ever say, okay, the donations that go to this class is going to this particular thing? Or
we've actually done sometimes very specific causes, right. And we will say, okay, for the next 4 weeks or 6 weeks, this is what your contribution is going to. For example, with using the Wesley Foundation, they are not charging us anything to use their lovely space. Well, they have all these people coming in and out, and they didn't have an AED for their facility. And so, which is very important when you have health going on. You could have people in worship. You could have students that have cardiac arrest going on while they're doing something. So we felt from a health perspective, it was very important for that to happen. So we said for the next 6 to 8 weeks, and I forget what it was, whatever money you put in this envelope is going to buy the AED, and the AED is X dollars. Okay. And so sometimes people will go, oh, that's really important to me that happens for that group or that person or whatever. And so they will donate even over and above what they normally would. So yes, we do that kind of thing. Okay.
I can see that as a real motivator for people.
Absolutely.
If it's something they care about.
Uh-huh. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And we discuss with the class also. The class says, we have this opportunity, that opportunity, what's important to you. Or if you come into class and you have something that's on your heart, a person, an organization that you would really like to see supported, you can bring that to us. And we have team meetings with the instructors, and we will kind of discuss that, and yay. And almost always it's yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I appreciate your time. We're going to be wrapping up in just a moment, but I have a couple of questions. One of them I sent you. I'm going to surprise you with one. This one, if there was a character or someone in Scripture that you would love to whip into shape, who would it be?
Oh my goodness! Oh, you're really catching me off guard with this. Oh my goodness!
It just occurred to me. I'm so sorry.
Oh my goodness! I don't know, because back. They all walked so much then. I think they were probably in a lot better shape than we were. I can't think of anybody in Scripture that just sat and didn't move anything, So yeah. So I don't know. I'd have to really have to give that thought, because like I said, culture back then was so much more
physical
than we were.
I think for me, it would be Job right in the middle of his trials. I think he needs it. He would need it.
Oh, my goodness.
All right. Well, the final question I have for you before we wrap up is, what is your soul's theme song?
All right. And this one, it's Here I Am, Lord. It's
Here I Am, Lord.
Yeah, Here I Am.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
It is a good one.
That's my heart. That's where I am. Use me.
Well, Beth, if people want to know more about your ministry or connect with you, how can they do that?
The email, my email address, if they want it, I can give you what that is right now. It's also on the website for Trinity in Tallahassee, but my email address is BFC for Becoming Fit at Church. So bfcseries at yahoo.com. And anybody who wants to reach out can send me an email there, and I will be happy to answer any questions about the program, how it works, how we set it up, about exercise in general. It's my passion. I love it. I could go on forever.
Well, we will put that information in the description, and I thank you so much for sharing your time with us today.
You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me and asking me to do this. All right.
Well, thank you so much.
I hope you all are able to set some things up out there too. So,
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
It's been a pleasure. God bless.
God bless you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Truth and love, the road we roam. In our spirits we find home. Living life to the fullest extent. With every step our hearts content.